think of Logan?
It's good to have him here again. He's always been a trusted friend.
But the real question is, have you been a trusted friend to him?
I'm not sure I like what you're implying.
You have to admit, your track record for keeping secrets is becoming quite infamous.
Ah, you're talking about keeping the others in the dark about Blaze holding the parchment.
I am.
It's not really a discussion I'm willing to have right now. Logan kept a secret for Agatha and I, and it saved our lives. It must have been, what, 1985? 84? I remember because Agatha crimped her hair and shoulder pads had cast some strange spell over my wardrobe. We looked quite ridiculous, but we were happy. Well, happy until a rather disturbed coven of witches by the name of the Salem Seven invaded our home.
What did you do to provoke their ire?
Oh, I see. You think I did something wrong. But it wasn't me they were upset with. It was Agatha. See, the Salem Seven were her grandchildren by her son Nicholas Scratch.
They tried to kidnap their grandmother?
They felt she had betrayed which kind by choosing to live among humans, and came to drag her back to New Salem by force. Logan was staying with us when they invaded our home. He hid us in a secret passage and refused to tell them where we were. He kept our secret and fought them off long enough for Agatha to invoke a banishing spell. Without him, they would have surely kidnapped her. Or maybe worse.
I hope you are able to exact revenge on them. Give them the justice they deserve.
Agatha did penalize them by finding a way to take away some of their powers for good. I wanted her to do more, but she wouldn't go further than that against her own family, no matter how dysfunctional or dangerous it had become. Speaking of dysfunctional family dynamics, I do trust you, you know, even though I don't always show it.
I know.
Even though you don't always show it?
Something like that.
Common ground. Who would have thought?
So don't get mad, but Caretaker wants to run Emo Kids tonight.
Why would that make me mad?
I'm a little mad. I don't want her thinking she's in charge now. Alright, let's do this.
Lead the way.
Tonight's ritual will prove to be an absolute treat.
Just another night of Caretaker putting words in my mouth.
Familial friction aside, I speak of her magic. Always a pleasure to watch one of the blood mystically work the room. I confess my ignorance as to her methods is quite thrilling. A rarity for any Sorcerer Supreme.
How much did Nico tell you about tonight's meeting?
She said you are leading it.
I suspect you have an opinion on the matter. Say what you must.
This is a far cry from observing.
I asked to run this meeting because we approach the moment of your death. I won't have amateurs bungle this.
Like magic? She brought us closer to what happened than anyone else.
On the contrary, her misguided approach reminded me of an old technique. It will reveal the truth while keeping you safe. Tonight I will cocoon your conscious mind from your past self. When you are ready, we can safely observe the events of your death.
We can begin.
What is the last memory on the night of your death?
Lilith, asking me to join her.
Keep it close. That's where you'll begin.
All right.
What do you see?
Lilith and I face each other in the circle.
Join you? Why would I ever do that?
Since my transformation, I have made so many children, yet all pale beside my greatest creation. My true child, perfect, conceived in my very image.
I am nothing like you!
Not yet, but you will be, when I remove the shackles that bind
No,
you.
I will never stand by your side.
Foolish child, you have no choice in the... But we can no longer afford such lies.
I cannot move. The Darkhold. She has the Darkhold.
You cling to the delusions of your captors. Embrace your true self trapped within.
She lifts the Darkhold high. She...
That's it? That's how the hunter died?
There's nothing more.
So the hunter died because of a book?
Miss Rasputin, the Darkhold is hardly a book.
So Lilith read the hunter to death.
I guess she channeled her demon powers through the Darkhold.
Ugh, still a boring way to die.
Observing your own death can lead to sleepless nights, I know from personal experience. If you have trouble sleeping, I can write you a prescription. A joke, of course. I'm not licensed in this state.
You died predictably.
You sound disappointed.
Death for the hunter should not be so banal. Next time, add some spice. Get your legs stuck in a combine harvester. Have a sack of starving weasels tied around your face. Anything but demon powers.
I'm disappointed. I thought there'd be more to it.
Same here.
I always thought her attack on the Abbey was to recover the Darkhold, but it appears it was a means to an end.
What she said about me, my true self. Can you explain that?
No, it's nonsense, but she clearly believed what she said. Perhaps we can use this against her.
How?
When we're ready to face her, you may be able to divert her attention.
You want to use me as bait?
Well, if you're offering.
Why is using me as bait always your plan?
Because it works.
That is all I wanted to ask.
Are you all right? This can't have been easy to relive.
No, not really. I have more questions than answers.
We'll answer them together, I promise. I won't keep you. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
What did Lilith mean about your true self?
We are finding out more questions than answers.
Thankfully, Sarah is around to help put the pieces together.
But not tonight.
Alright, you taking off?
That is it for me.
Sounds good. See you next meeting.
What are you doing?
I think I'm getting the hang of this thing. What do 3 squiggly lines mean?
It means you should step away before Sarah notices.
Okay, so the squiggly lines just flashed red. Is that bad?
Yes, actually. What is going on? Vampires attacking civilians in Central Park?
Well, that means we're up, right? Innocents are in danger. We gotta take care of this right now.
Eddie, I agree completely.
Ah, first time I've heard that in years. Come on, let's do some lethal protection.
Mephisto, what are you...
That's better. Now, let's get a few things straight. While perhaps one may choose to save the odd civilian, contractually, in the fight to end the vampire scourge, the spirit of the intended agreement...
Come again?
I did not waste my time curing you so you could save superfluous human lives.
Still boring.
Do I have your attention now? We all know what you really are. A monster. The only version of you that remotely interests me, and the only reason I allowed this deal.
Stop doing that!
Oh, I'll stop. But you've earned an object lesson. Vampires are bad for business. Vampires keep souls from flowing to where they're most needed. With less souls, there are more soulless. Do you understand the lesson? Because it's time for some target practice.
So many targets.
I just see 2 of them.
You had your chance at salvation.
Acceptable outcome. You've earned some small measure of my respect. And I hope learned your lesson.
The lesson is, we do not like being the target.
Of course you don't. And that burning in your chest, that would be...
Indigestion.
That would be regret. The most overused human seasoning.
Seasoned humans are delicious.
Would you?
Enough! If you want this so much, stop posturing and tell us where to go.
Find what you seek, where it all began. Now, eradicate the vampire threat, or join me in limbo forever.
You do not dare!
Right, off you go. I don't know why I bother.
Hey, you mind checking in with Eddie? Whatever happened with Mephisto has him especially bummed.
Why not talk to him yourself?
Because I want him to cheer up?
Of course. I will speak with him.
Thanks. Oh, and don't tell him I asked. Wouldn't want to spoil his mood any further.
You seem frustrated. If you need to vent, I could hold the punching bag while you hit it.
Nah, I can't take everything out on Peter.
That is not what I...
Yeah, I know what you meant. Sorry, Hunter. Didn't mean to bite your head off. Honestly, I feel like I'm the one who's getting used as a punching bag right now.
Mephisto is getting to you?
For starters. Don't forget about Lilith. And with these vampires, feels like everyone's forming a line.
That is a lot.
Your mother controlled me. She took away my free will. Now Mephisto has me under his thumb. I'm tired of being someone's puppet.
You are angry, and you should be. Channel it. Use it to fuel the battles ahead.
Yeah, I got no shortage of fuel, so don't worry. But I get your point. My symbiote is a great companion, but makes it hard for me to think straight when I get worked up. You know, I always thought of myself as the lethal protector. I can be the bad guy if it means protecting the innocent, but Mephisto has me all twisted up. It makes me think I can't even do that.
Sounds like the only thing left to do is teach Mephisto not to mess with the Midnight Suns.
Huh. All right. I can get on board with that. You know, I was actually thinking about that already. You ever heard of the legendary spear of Perseus? No, not the fabled hero who beheaded Medusa, but the real-life Macedonian king. A book in the library says he possessed a god-forged spear that made him invincible. Something like that might kill Mephisto.
Agatha used to tell me this bedtime story because it is a fable for children.
Hey, just because something became legend doesn't mean it doesn't hold a kernel of truth.
You really believe a blade like this still exists?
Well, yeah, it's indestructible. It's gotta be somewhere.
You should speak to Caretaker or Dr. Strange. I am sure they could offer details about the spear you would find enlightening.
Are you saying that I can't trust my own sources? Those party poopers would just tell me that chasing after the spear is a fool's errand. But, okay, I see what you're getting at. I'm taking the screwball approach to things like I always do. But still, I have to do something. Give me some time to think.
You talked to Eddie? How's he doing?
Encounters with wild animals go smoother.
Sounds about right. Eddie has more in common with a honey badger than he'd like to admit.
He needs time to recover, but it seems he will be all right.
Sure, but how do I put this delicately? I'm concerned his emotions will get the better of him.
How so?
Well, Eddie was always an emotional tornado, but the symbiote doesn't help. It feeds off his emotions, enhances them.
Eddie's feelings are not his own?
Oh, they are, but they're amplified, sometimes to a dangerous degree. Take it from me, the symbiote can really wind your gears.
If Eddie wants to live here, he needs to play by our rules. Some structure will help him control the beast within.
Whatever you say, but pushing Venom past his breaking point is a sucker's game. Take it from someone who knows. Don't worry, I'll keep an eye on him. If he stops acting like the Eddie I know, you'll be the first to hear it.
Heading to book club. Are you?
Meet you there.
After you.
I like this book, but I can't explain why. Maybe I'll figure it out as we discuss it.
I should not be this nervous about what you all thought of the book. Even the best translations from Kree lose subtext.
I'm good if you are.
I am ready.
Carol, this was your book, so you can start.
I'll throw it back to you. What did you think of the book?
I had a rough time with it.
You didn't like it?
Didn't say that. At first, I've spent more time referencing the glossary than reading the book.
Sounds familiar. What changed?
I noticed a kind of rhythm to the words. I began to see them as lyrics to a song. All that dry talk faded and it finally came together. The lyrics made it feel much bigger than a chapter on Kree farming implements.
Agreed. As though there was a song behind the words.
Nice. Unless it was disco. You're lucky you missed out on that decade. But yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Once I caught on, I kept reading and didn't rely on the glossary. I picked everything up from context. That's when I realized none of this was about farming. I'm surprised how much stuck with me, despite some concepts being legit alien to me.
Agreed. For me, the rhythm wasn't lyrics. It was more like the book was written to a cadence.
That's why I had you read it on your Spark. The mnemonic lexicon won't work with a hard copy.
The what now?
An ancient Cree technique. It helps you remember texts that would otherwise be considered... There's no Cree word for stuffy, but essentially that. But all that's packaging. Let's get into the book itself. Hunter, did you figure out what the bloom and the harvest represent?
The bloom is poorly defended territory behind enemy lines. The harvest is when you strike that territory and then fade away.
That's an important aspect, but it's more than just an attack strategy. It's about what comes after. At the time of the book's writing, the Kree cared most about integrating captured territory while still expanding their empire. Conquered worlds came with people. Rather than treat them as prisoners, the Kree provided them with most benefits enjoyed by Kree citizens. This period is known as the cultivation.
So the bloom was when they gained full citizenship under their conquerors.
No, it's when the world requested it. As long as they could feed themselves with Kree farming techniques and defend their world with Kree defenses, the request was granted with few exceptions.
So what's the harvest?
As part of the service required by the Empire, many of these new citizens began the cultivation of freshly conquered worlds.
So they were living examples. Show the newly conquered what they could achieve if they went along with the Empire.
That's also how vampires work.
Carol, I think I pieced together the Kree strategy.
Do tell.
It's all tied to agriculture. Every soldier knows you can't fight if you can't eat, but they applied this to their expansion. Till the field, sow the seed, pull the weed, reap the crop. It means the Kree wouldn't advance until the territory they took was secure and productive.
To their enemies, the Kree advance would seem steady and inevitable.
That's what I think. Expand too fast and you overextend yourself. I saw that happen in Operation Market Garden. But the Kree expansion had momentum. They could afford to push harder because their whole weight was behind the advance. Unless a world could push just as hard, it would eventually fall under Kree control. Carol, how was that?
Close enough to impress me. The strategy in Volume 32 wasn't perfect, but it worked out for the Kree far more often than it failed.
What happened when it failed?
That's covered in Volume 33.
And that's book club. Steve, you're up next. What's your book?
The Mantle of Authority, by General Chester Phillips.
Is this the one you keep saying I should read?
The very same. Now you have to. It's book club. I hope you enjoy the book I chose.
Why do you say that?
It's about people who weren't around until after your death. But I'm sure you'll figure out the context.
So, why choose this book?
Volume 30 was way too spicy for this crowd.
Go on.
I'm kidding. It's relevant to what we're facing today. Hydra, the Lilin, your mom, they seem to have the upper hand all over the world.
The Kree never conquered this planet. Neither will my mother.
Exactly. Reputation makes you seem bigger than you are. We can hit them anywhere at any time. You can bet this adds to our own reputation. And that's how we defeat our enemy. As long as we're still standing, they're gonna fall.
Okay, just between us, Carol's book was extremely weird, right?
I could not stand it.
I wouldn't go that far, but it was not something I'd ever grab off the shelf.
I would go that far.
Fair enough. You know what you like.
You should be honest with Carol.
I'm always honest with Carol. But if I tell her it was a weird book, I'll sound like I don't know much about her adopted culture.
And how is that bad? You do not know, so this is the perfect opportunity to ask.
Good point. All right, I'll do it. Thanks, Hunter.
Good luck.
On your way out?
Yes, I am done.
Good meeting.
Doctor, are you familiar with the Spear of Perseus?
Hunter, please, I'm getting a bit old for children's fables, don't you think?
Okay, so it is just a story? The spear is not a real magical artifact?
No, far from it. In fact, the Spear of Perseus is really a misnomer.
What do you mean?
Well, the Spear of Perseus isn't a physical blade, it's a military tactic. Perseus used to arrange his soldiers into a spear-like formation on the battlefield. That ridiculous legend about a supernatural weapon came centuries later.
I see. I just talked to Eddie, and he is convinced the spear is real. He hopes to hunt it down to use it against Mephisto.
Oh, by the hoary hosts of Hoggoth, I hope he enjoys chasing wild geese, because that is what he is about to do.
Doctor, knowing Eddie, I worry he might find something that he believes is actually magical.
Whatever he finds is all but guaranteed to be a chintzy replica, likely ripped from a museum gift shop.
I am sure Mephisto will enjoy using it as a back-scratcher.
Indeed. Let's hope Eddie gets bored with this tale before that happens.
Your love life is pretty dull, right?
Rude.
No, I mean it as a good thing. I'm over the second-hand relationship drama going around. Peter asked me about every text he sends to his girl. Is it too long, too short, too soon, too late, too needy, too cool? Why didn't she reply? I sent it 5 seconds ago. Blade doesn't even use full sentences. He pops out of nowhere, sits down and goes, "Some women." What does that mean, some women? Are what? Vampires? Space captains?
Honesty is the best approach. Both between them and their significant others, and for you when they ask you for your advice.
You're right. There isn't right or wrong. Just better to give my honest opinion.
Yes, that we all might die and none of this will matter.
We said honest, not hopeless. But yeah, that'll work too.
We're supposed to have shop class tonight, but Tony really got under his skin. I've never seen him this mad. Can you help me talk him down?
Lead the way.
Thanks, Hunter.
You've gone too far, Tony.
Explain how replacing outdated equipment is a problem.
You moved my car.
It was in the way, and I moved it back.
Crap.
All this flashy junk isn't why I'm here. Why any of the rest of us are here.
Well, I'm here to make progress. If you aren't, then get out of the way.
Never meet your heroes. I get it now. I don't know why I thought you could change.
Robbie just needs a little space. Let's get started. We don't have much on this saber-tooth guy, but we know he's incredibly dangerous. He's also somewhat predictable.
In what way?
When it comes to a fight, he's extremely aggressive. Our ideas take advantage of that.
What have you cooked up?
The initial prototype uses a tailored pheromone to keep him away. It provokes an intense revulsion we hope will blunt his attacks.
Like a foul scent used to keep animals at bay.
Well put. Our other prototype is... well, we kept it simple. It's part sedative and part itching powder.
To trip him up with a thorn in his paw.
A very distracting thorn at that. Thanks for getting me those components. We're good to go. Time to... Tony, what's up?
I think your gearhead pal is still wound up.
Okay. Hunter, give me a minute. I want to make sure Robbie's okay.
Take your time. I'll assemble the prototype for the Hunter.
Oh, I'd prefer to hold off. There are some details I want to go over before we begin.
Oh, come on. You've managed so far. How hard can it be for me?
Sure, fine.
Before we get started, I've noticed Parker takes twice as long to finish these prototypes than he should. I have some ideas.
Give me a minute.
You know what? Don't worry about it. I can handle this myself.
Okay.
Sit back and watch the master at work. What? You looking for a round two? I don't want to butt heads, but to quote a frenemy, I can do this all day.
Tony, I don't want to fight you. You were my hero growing up.
Kids do love Iron Man.
Not Iron Man. You, Tony. The man who could fix any problem with technology.
What do you want, Robbie?
10 years ago, you bought the Salazar steel plant, then shut it down. Do you remember what you said at the press conference? When you announced the Stark Technology Center?
Something witty?
You said, I'm here to make progress. If you aren't, you should get out of my way. Tony, you put half the families in my neighborhood out of work. And for what? You never even broke ground on that technology center.
I don't even remember this.
3 years later, most of the families who you put out of work had moved away. Follow the jobs, you know? The rest of us weren't so lucky. That's when things got real bad. But those families had it right. You need to know when it's time to move on. So good luck with shop class. I hope it's all the progress you want it to be.
You too, Parker?
Yeah, Tony. If I could manage it, how hard can it be for you?
Damn it. What just happened?
I guess you are in charge now.
I didn't want this.
That is not what I saw.
I can fix this.
Maybe, but not tonight.
J. Jonah Jameson just said, Spider-Man's existence fosters an atmosphere of toxic paranormal activity in New York.
Backbiters exist to sully the character of others.
The Daily Bugle printed that I conjured the Hellmouth in New York City. First off, I didn't even know Hellmouths were real until last week. Second, New York already had a Hellmouth in Staten Island. I'm pretty sure vampires live there.
Jameson ought to be tarred and feathered. Damage to one's reputation is impossible to repair. Do not let this minor annoyance distract you from the prophecy.
I'm just venting. The Daily Bugle always had it out for me.
Then, when Lilith is defeated, we will fight this slanderous buffoon.
Libelous. Slander is spoken, print is libel. I freelance for that libelous buffoon, and he always makes that point clear. Thanks for distracting me, Hunter. It's clear I gotta hire a publicist. Or better yet, just hit unsubscribe from the Daily Bugle on my newsfeed. Wow, I feel better already.
Now, back to stopping the prophecy that will doom all mankind.
I wish we could just unsubscribe from Lilith.
If only it were that simple.
Hunter, got a big problem, not sure how to fix it.
Slow down, Peter. Tell me what happened.
Okay, Eddie left me a note. Real ominous stuff. Said he knows where to find the ultimate answer. Look, I've seen Venom in dark places before, but this? I'm worried he and the symbiote have hit a breaking point.
I will help you find him.
That's just it. I looked everywhere. Unless he crawled into the forge, he's not in the Abbey.
He's not in the Abbey.
Exactly my point.
He asked me to open a portal, so I did.
Where did you send him?
A church.
Where Venom and I fought in the bell tower?
Yes?
Hunter, that's where Venom was born. We have to go, right now.
All right, Peter. I will follow your lead. Ileana, could you—
Open a portal. Fine. But no more piecemeal trips. You must all return together.
That's the hope. What's going on, Ed?
Got to thinking. Mephisto said I would find what I seek where it all began. Gotta be here, right?
I guess this church is the place where I lose things, and you find them. Any luck?
Whole lot of nothing.
What's eating at you?
I caused a mountain of hurt. In the name of some freaky demon lady.
Lilith. She controlled you, Eddie.
She didn't do all this. I did. Look around. I'm never gonna clean this mess up. Never gonna make any of this right.
You don't know that.
You know me. I screw everything up. Maybe I deserve this curse.
My Aunt May says the easiest way to let the darkness win is to do nothing.
Yeah, well, I don't have an Aunt May. All I get is this. Whole lot of watching someone else get to be the good guy. Must be nice. You okay, Parker?
I gotta say, something's setting my spidey sense off. Kinda jacked up to maximum overdrive here.
It's all about boundaries, Parker. Gotta put that thing on mute sometimes.
Maybe someday, but this is different. It feels like...
Vampires.
You got my back? I got yours.
Brothers in vamp slime. Let's do this.
Oh, this should be...
Your fate is
After you, Eddie.
After us.
These catacombs are older than the church. Look, hemolisks.
We are looking. Them could be eating.
This could be the source of the whole vampire infestation. Uh-oh, that's not a small entrance.
Infestation. Infestation.
Prince of Darkness?
Wait, you mean...
The Father of Death.
So to be clear...
The Impaler.
Humanity itself is the infestation. You insect.
Okay, first, arachnids aren't insects. Don't feel bad. It's a common misconception. Second, love the costume. Seriously, I dressed like you last Halloween.
That is no costume.
Crab. I remember your face.
Trouble now.
Best you can do. Enough of this! We've got this!
On my count!
I am ready.
We are also ready.
1, 2,
3!
I understood that social cue.
My children, you think this stops my plans? Today, your only gain is an immortal enemy.
Much better. Now, could someone give us a lift out of here?
Another deal, then?
No!
No.
Yes! No? Pity.
So, aside from the soul hoarding thing, what is the devil's beef with Dracula?
He broke his agreement. But I am pleased. We are not! You have made progress. I look forward to what comes next. Eddie can stay Eddie for now. Not to worry. I'll see the rest of you very soon.
Hard to believe you were once rivals. Today, I fought beside partners.
I guess you're right. It felt good working with you, Eddie. For the first time in forever, I didn't think the symbiote was preparing to devour one of my organs.
Yeah, we really sent Dracula packing, huh? And it's a relief to have Mephisto off my back.
You're a free man. What's the plan now?
Yeah. Free.
Eddie? This is the part where you say, I'm gonna eat 2 pizzas and sleep for 11 hours. At least, that's what I'd do after a big battle. But knowing the old Parker luck, that's when I'd stumble into a battle with Doc Ock.
Eddie, is everything all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. I will be fine. Completely free of Lilith's control. It almost doesn't feel real.
Do you want one of us to pinch you? Joking!
Eddie, what is wrong?
I've been so busy, I haven't processed what I did under Lilith's control. Guess my sins are still catching up to me.
Anything Lilith forced you to do was not your doing. You are blameless.
Well, the people I hurt don't have the luxury of walking away from what I did to them. So why should I? I've killed before. I can't pretend I'm above that, but I try to only take a life if it means I'm saving another. And Lilith threw all that out the window.
You see your victims' faces when you sleep?
The worst of the faces I don't remember. I get flashes of memories, like corrupted videos on repeat. I see parts of what happened, but the details are lost.
My mother did not send you to care for orphans. Consider your lack of memory a gift.
A gift, huh? Maybe you're right. Problem is, I'm never gonna know. Anyway, thanks for checking in. And don't worry too much about me. I'm gonna stick around and do what needs doing.
I know you will.
I may have lost a step, but I promise you this. Lilith will regret she ever got into our heads.
Every encounter with the new breed vampires raises more questions than it answers. What do Sin and Dracula get out of their unholy alliance? Why would Sin's Hydra troops help Dracula's cause? And what is their endgame?
I have a theory.
Go for it.
Whatever Sin and Dracula are planning, they are not alone in their schemes, and we will soon encounter the one who is actually pulling the strings. It could be a sorcerer, a witch, or maybe a demon. Perhaps one who matches or surpasses Lilith's power.
I can do without a mystery villain. The roster of enemies is already stacking up. Whatever the actual reason, the outcome is always expand the power of new breed vampires. Let's focus on what we know. Putting aside that you came face to face with actual Dracula, I did the math on how many potential vampires you destroyed in that Hemolisk hive. That place could have generated half the city's police force per week. New York would turn into a feeding ground.
As Robbie would say, we crashed it.
He might say something slightly different, but yeah, aside from dealing with the devil, I'd say we came out ahead.
I support Peter's choice. Somehow, we beat the devil.
I doubt it happens often. Still, I have this feeling in the pit of my stomach. Doesn't feel like a clean win, you know?
Yes, I know.
Anything else on your mind?
Thanks, Carol.
Catch you later.